Manish Jain joining in now. He's Managing Director of Enviro Infra Engineers. Mr. Jain, a very good morning to you. Your guidance was at a 22 to 24% margin range. You have come up beyond that and above that. Tell us what has worked this quarter, and are you going to be looking at revising your guidance going forward? Is this the margin range that you see?
Good morning, and thank you for having me on the show. Uh, First of all, regarding the revenue guidance, the revenue growth in the company has been to the tune of 17%. The profitability in terms of EBITDA that has increased to 25%. It is more of that product mix and then the COGS, the cost of goods. So that has driven a better EBITDA margins in the company, and then a higher PAT margin of 17% is there. And if we see the growth in the PAT margin, so it is 42% growth Y on Y. So we can maintain on the revenue front, we can maintain a growth rate of 35 to 40% for the current financial year. At the start of this current financial year, we were having an order book of 1185 crores. So in the last 4 months which have gone by, there has been an increase in the order book to the tune of around 1180 odd crores. So with the combine this order book and the design for the new projects which is going on, so Q3 and Q4 numbers will be still better. So we can maintain the guidance on the revenue front, and definitely for the profitability, we'll maintain our guidance to be in the range of 22 to 24%, but look forward to having still much better margins, which we are generating right now.
Having said that, some material costs and employee expenses and the reduction there have also, contributed to these margins to some extent. Does that start now reversing, or can you just give us some more insight into why that happened?
If you see the growth of the employee cost and the number of employees in the company when we had been into the IPO, so that employee strength in the company was around 900. At present, that employee strength stands at somewhere around 1350 or plus. So that is the level of growth in the number of employees being there in the company. Still, if we see as a percentage of sales, so that is coming down. So same will be the employee cost as a percentage of sales that is coming down, and at the same time the finance cost that is also getting reduced substantially. So these two factors in itself will keep on driving a better margin apart from the growth in the revenue, and then better the product mix that we have. In the last 2 financial years, we the projects from JJM which we were executing, so the percentage of revenues from JJM were quite higher. If you see our current revenue, so this wastewater treatment, which is sewage treatment plant and common effluent treatment plant, this constitutes almost 70% of the revenue. So with this shift, the revenue growth the profitability is also expected to improve further.
Got it. Mr. Jain, firstly, interesting to see that the key managerial personnel have decided to forego their remuneration until this fraud piece is recovered. So good on the management's part. Just wondering, one of the notes suggested that the order inflow expected to support a growth rate of 35 to 40% in FY26 and beyond. Now, would love to know, is this 35 to 40% now a near guarantee for FY26? And when people say beyond FY26 as well, you believe 35 to 40% growth can happen in FY27 as well?
The level of order wins that we have currently in the current financial year, which is to the tune of somewhere around 1200 crores, and still the projects for which we have submitted our bids and the projects which are upcoming for which we are submitting our bids. So it gives a clear reflection that the order book that will strengthen, and then based on the current order book, the visibility for FY26 that gets confirmed that we will continue to grow at a rate of around 35 to 40%. And based on this order visibility, the win ratio that we will have in the current financial year further, we foresee that FY27 can be a big one. It can be still better than that 35-40%.
The other question, Mr. Jain, is you've had some recent ventures, the renewable energy sector. I believe no major operational revenues recorded in that segment as yet. What's the outlook thereof? When do the revenues start coming in? And is there some guidance or some color around what numbers could look like over the next 2 years in that segment?
Basically, Renewable was a new venture for us. We started this company in the current financial year. Then we have taken up two projects. One is Vento Power Solutions, which we have purchased from PTC. So it is a partially completed project. It is a 40 megawatt solar power project in which 24 megawatt is already installed and the generation is already happening. So we are required to upgrade this plant to 40 megawatt. There are some threshold requirements which we have to achieve. So based on that, we'll generate revenues in the current financial year in terms of execution of this project, and then the power which is getting generated. So revenue will definitely accrue from this particular project. The second project is it is a 29 megawatt solar power plant at Maharashtra for MSEDCL. So basically, we have to put up a new 29 megawatt solar power project there. So there is an SFA of 3.2 crore per megawatt. So definitely the revenues will accrue in the current financial year. We expect a revenue to the tune of around 200 crore in current financial year with an EBITDA margin in the range of 18 to 20% from this.
What is the kind of contribution you see the renewables business making going forward, Mr. Jain? Because that is one big push that you are looking at. How do you see that panning out, and what are the margins relatively for this segment of the business?
Right now, we concentrated up to these two projects with some smaller EPC projects for which we have submitted our bids. So as a whole, once we are through with this, maybe sometime around December, so we'll be in a position to look how we can look into a growth in this particular segment, and then we can keep growing in the renewable sector as well. So just too early to say anything on this one, but we can project a revenue of around 200 crore for current financial year, and will be in a better position to explain the revenue growth and future in this particular sector by December.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jain, for speaking with us. Mr. Manish Jain of Enviro Infra, talking about the quarter gone by, and the margins is something that has enthused the street as well.